Chelsea Football Club will be looking to strengthen in 4 key positions, and not with youngsters, but primarily good players that are ready to come into the first team. We're going to talk about those 4 positions. Their 4 positions I personally really agree with. Andrey Santos is absolutely smashing it at Strasbourg, and is he ready to come back to Chelsea? Well, Matt Law has come out with very interesting comments, which makes me think maybe he's going to be coming back. And then the upgrade on the one and only Estevao Willian. Estevao Willian is arguably one of the most exciting prospects in world football, and what is happening with this deal? I've got the update with how much the total fee is going to be and why the deal's holding up, and more importantly, should Chelsea be looking at Victor Roque, the guy that has gone to Barcelona? It hasn't really worked out, and he's a wonder kid. And should Chelsea try to get this kid on some sort of a deal where there's a discount? And then Chelsea being Chelsea again, the one and only Chelsea have apparently put in a £6.2 million bid in for Pedro Lima. I'll tell you who he is, I'll tell you what position he plays, and I'll tell you why you should not be having a go. Why are we trying to sign another 17-year-old? Because I'll explain it. So before we get started, I need your support. Number one, this isn't my normal setup because I'm on holiday at the moment and I'm still making sure you get the content. I'm waking up super early to do it. Number two, so you hit that like button. Number two, subscribe if you're new, because trust me, this summer I am going to be keeping you guys updated with everything Chelsea. And finally, if you just enjoy football and you want to share some content around to help me out, please do. It's the best way to support the channel. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to talk about what Chelsea are going to be looking to do this summer, and it actually really mirrors what I believe our key issues are, and what the assumption is going to be that Pochettino stays, all right? Matt Law has come out and said Chelsea are looking to strengthen in 4 positions. We all know at this moment in time, Pochettino has no influence over the signings that we get. It is Win Stanley and Lawrence Stewart. They're the face of the project. They're the ones that decide. They get input from other scouts. For example, Joe Shields is heavily involved, and he's part of the reasons why we signed Cole Palmer, Lavia, and we were looking at Michael Elise as well. That would have been one heck of an acquisition. So Chelsea are going to be looking for a left back. That is a prime position that I think Chelsea need to improve in. What I would like to do is Chelsea to go for somebody that's between 22 and 24 years old. I think rather than going for an individual that's 19 to 20 and is playing his first few seasons, it'll be good to go for somebody that's in a range of have played around about 4 seasons, purely based on the fact that they're kind of experienced, there's good upside, there's resale value in the future, and more importantly, they shouldn't be that expensive, right? So the left back position is a priority. I would have loved to keep Ian Maatsen, but it's not going to happen. Lewis Hall is gone, and I just don't think Ben Chilwell nor Cucurella are of the level to be trustworthy enough across 38 games for us to be able to compete for a league title. I think that is the important thing we need to get into our head right now. Whether we're going to be competing for a league title next year, we need to start building pieces of players that could be in a league title winning side, right, in a few years, or maybe even next year. We don't know, because things in football can change very drastically. The next position we need is a striker, and Matt Law says Chelsea are going to be looking for a striker. I would personally hyphenate this, either a striker or a left winger. And the reason I say this is I feel like Chelsea need a shooter. I think what Chelsea need at this moment in time is somebody that's going to come in and aim to get you around about 20 goals in the league, somewhere in that range. The reason I say this is because I think Nicholas Jackson's 14 is great. I think Cole Palmer's 21 is great. In an ideal world, we would have had Raheem Sterling and Christopher Nkunku chipping in with around about 12 to 14. Raheem Sterling has been severely off form and has been permanently dropped by the looks of things. And when it comes to Christopher Nkunku, you just can't trust him to stay fit. As much as the talent is there, as much as I appreciate what he can do, and as much as I believe he is actually a very, very good player and arguably one of our best players, I just feel like to go into another season and depend on an individual that's been consistently injured for 18 months, and when he returns from injury, gets injured again, is naive and actually preposterous and poor management from the board. So we need to make the assumption that he's just not going to be fit, and if you get Christopher Nkunku, it's a bonus. So maybe go and sign another player, and in a year's time, sell Raheem Sterling. That's my personal opinion. Then the final position that Chelsea could be looking for, definitely, is the centre-back position. This position is one where I'm severely torn, because whilst I agree we need an experienced centre-half to come in, someone to lead the troops, rally them, and give the shining example to Levi Colwill, Badiashile, Disasi, and Fofana, because Thiago Silva's going and it looks like Trevor Chalobah will be going as well. I think we are if we're playing 4 at the back, it's overkill to have as many as we're going to have. I think in that world, we have to let 3 go if we're bringing another one in. I think Levi Colwill will be the centerpiece of Chelsea's defense for years to come. I think this individual will be playing consistently. I think Badiashile's passing and Badiashile's quick acceleration makes him really transferable into different systems, and more importantly, I think there's a good upside that Pochettino likes in him. Disasi has played the most and he's the fittest in the sense that he hardly ever gets injured, so it's very difficult to drop him when he's always fit. And as coverage, Disasi is actually pretty decent, and Fofana you can't count on. If someone told me Wesley Fofana will be fit for all of next season, I would say we don't need a centre-half. However, I can't count on Wesley Fofana to be fit. So at the moment, if we sell Thiago and we sell Trevor Chalobah, who I think we shouldn't be selling, we're going to go into the market, and Matt Law is right. And the final position that Chelsea are going to be looking at is the goalkeeper. This is a position I'm very frustrated about, because whilst I think Petrovic is a great signing for £12 million as a backup goalkeeper, I think that was an absolute masterstroke from the fan base, the sporting directors. I think the issue is we should have never invested 25 million into Robert Sanchez. Whoever decided we should invest 25 million into Robert Sanchez needs to give me a 1,000-word dissertation, right? Or 10,000-word dissertation, 1,000-word paragraph, a 10,000-word dissertation on why they thought this was a good idea. This was third choice Brighton goalkeeper. This was an individual that all of us collectively can go back and watch my comments, or go back and read my comments and watch my video. We were all against this. I didn't know a single person that said Robert Sanchez is going to be a good signing. Not a single person. We were all against this move. And when we found out about the fee, we were like, they are pulling our pants down and they are laughing at us. They were ha. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I didn't know what we were doing. So we are being linked with Bento. But I think that's more based on the fact that we do a lot of business in Brazil. So, why not link Chelsea to a Brazilian goalkeeper? We are also being linked with Emi Martinez. I don't see that happening. They've got Champions League football. I think the fee's going to be so expensive, and I don't think we're going to do it. So it's interesting. Keep your eyes open on that. I'll keep you up to date with what's going to happen. So let's get into it. So Andrey Santos is a player that is currently absolutely smashing in France. A guy went there, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't see the loan going as well as it's going, purely based on the fact he went to Forest. It didn't really work out for him, and once he came back, I wanted to keep him at Chelsea. I said keep him, give him some game time off the bench. I thought it was better to keep him rather than Cesar Casadei, but you know Pochettino, he likes the taller midfielders. However, the kid's gone on loan, and it took him 2 weeks, and then he broke into the team, and now he's undroppable. He's absolutely smashing it there, to the point where he is showing us what we saw in the outset, why he's already got a Brazil cap, why this kid is touted to be one of the best midfielders in the future, based on his versatility, his ability to build play, his ability to be a goal-scoring midfielder, and his box-to-box nature. He can literally do all 3 facets of the midfield game. However, what's going to happen with him next year? He just scored a winner, he took his top off, and he was showing his name, and it went viral, and at the end of the game, him and Gabriel Angel was sitting, and they were standing and talking about how he's smashing it, and he's doing absolutely amazing. The reports are that he's going to be going back to Strasbourg. However, Matt Law said Chelsea are intriguingly looking at this kid. Like, they believe that this kid has got tremendous passion and tremendous potential to achieve greatness at Chelsea. And for me, he's the one I'm most excited about. Like, out of all the youngsters we have signed, people are so excited for Kendry Pius. And the reason they're excited for him is because he's the new one, right? He's the one that they don't know much about. Santos is the best player we have signed at that age range, and I think 12 million for him is going to be unreal. For me, he should have stayed this year. And if Conor Gallagher is sold, no one should be taking that spot apart from Andrey Santos. We should be going into next year with our midfield being the 40s: Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia. That should be our 4. For that double pivot, that should be our 4. We're going to have European football. We're going to have plenty of rotation. Carney Chukwuemeka can drop in. If we need a midfielder from the youth academy, they can drop in and get opportunities. We should not go and buy any more midfielders. That's why I am so high on Santos staying next year at Chelsea. But if needed and he needs to go play 38 games next year for Strasbourg, let him go play and let him go develop. But the year after, he has to be integrated into Chelsea Football Club. No excuses. In regards to Chelsea are currently looking at a right back who's 17 years old called Pedro Lima. Pedro Lima is playing for a club called Club Sport in Serie B. And a lot of people are going to be like, why are Chelsea going to spend 6.2 million on someone else? And I'm just going to say this. I don't know anything about this kid. I haven't watched this kid. I don't know anything other than the one initial picture I saw of him. But I am done doubting these sporting directors and asking what are they doing, because when it comes to scouting young players for cheap, yo, they're smashing it. They're absolutely smashing it. Like, think about what happened this January, right? We were linked with Duran. Duran has gone on to score plenty of goals off the bench, and he's played limited minutes for Aston Villa, but you can see why they're linked. And this was before he was slapping goals. Duran has got great short striking ability, but the meltdown from everyone, I don't even like this. I genuinely didn't. I said it doesn't make sense. But he looks like he could have come in and been a great bench option for Nicholas Jackson. Then we looked at Wharton, and Wharton from Blackburn, and he ended up going to Crystal Palace. And now everybody is saying how sick this kid is. Oh my God, have you seen how good Wharton is? Have you seen how good he is? And for me, whilst I think these players need to go somewhere where they can play to develop further and build on that platform, I do also believe that we as fans need to be a little bit more understanding when we're linked with players that aren't the big names or the names that we've seen much of. Because our new policy is going to be signing players like Andrey Santos, like Wharton, like Duran. And we kind of need to understand the Enzo Fernandez, the Caicedos, they're the ones that we know, but we end up paying crazy amount of money just because they've got 1 or 2 seasons under their belt. So, but Chelsea want to grab these players the year before they do that. We need to get the balance right, and I'm not going to lie to you, this summer I'm going to be a lot more understanding of the players we're linked with. People are going to say, oh, you're just saying anything they say goes. No, because if you look at the track record of the players they've signed, a lot of them are players that I actually think I would have signed as well based on the after event of seeing them. There's just a few players that go, okay, I didn't understand the Disasi signing and I still don't understand. I didn't understand the Robert Sanchez signing, I still don't understand it. However, other than that, most of them are like, yeah, this guy's got potential, this guy's sick, this guy's good enough for our team. So that's just me. A final update on Estevao Willian. It looks like the deal is going to come up to somewhere roughly around 55 million, 56 million pounds. What you need to bear in mind, ESPN Brazil explains, is it's going to be 32 million euros, which is around about 28, 25 million pounds, somewhere in that range, up front. The rest are all add-ons. So Chelsea aren't going to be paying 55 million the way everyone's going to be talking about it. If this kid doesn't bang, we're paying 26 million, right? So please don't get tricked by that from the outset. This guy's super generational. Like, he is arguably going to be one of the faces of Brazilian football in the next 10 to 15 years. Like, for his career, they're touting him to be that special. And when you look at the clips at the age of 16, he's absolutely unreal. Does it mean he's gonna come and bang? We don't know. But what's going on? What I think is very interesting is Chelsea Football Club need to be very careful how they treat this player. And the reason I say this is because Estevao Willian was looking at Barcelona. However, apparently that his agency don't want him to go there anymore, and because they don't believe that Barcelona will prioritize him in developing him. And why? Because of what's happened with Victor Roque. Victor Roque is a number 9. He is similar to the mold of Sergio Aguero, Carlos Tevez. You know, one of those strikers that's short, stocky, beautiful striker of the ball, and is a poacher. However, this is where it gets very interesting. Victor Roque joined Barcelona in January. They essentially rushed it. They said they wanted him to come in as soon as possible. He came in and he's not been great. He's played minimal football, and his agent came out publicly. And when I tell you B-rated Barcelona, I mean he absolutely smashed them into pieces. But what happened there? What happened now is Deco, apparently, the sporting director of Barcelona, the former Chelsea player, has decided, nah, bruv, you're going. And this is what happens, right? Agents think they have more power. Players get put in a position where they're going to have to either back their agent or sack their agent. And the club will make a decision. This is a whole mess. And a lot of people are going to ask the question, should Chelsea go and get Victor Roque and he be the understudy for Nicholas Jackson? Personally, I think that's too much of a risk. I would love, for Victor Roque to be at Chelsea. I think he's very talented. However, I don't think we're in the business of developing another kid in that position. Like, I genuinely don't. I feel like Nicholas needs some support from an elder statesman, somebody like an Olivier Giroud. I would love for us to go get like someone of that mold, someone of that build, where someone he'll play 20 games. Nicholas plays the other 18s from the start, coming off the bench. Or Giroud level player starts 20, comes off the bench on the other games. They share their game load, they share the European games, and all of a sudden he's got someone to learn with. He's got firm competition, and he just developed. But Victor Roque is an interesting one, and whoever gets him from Barcelona, brilliant signing, personally speaking. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts. And here's a video that will explain to you the whole situation regarding Chelsea this summer. Why the directors are safe, why Chelsea are not trying to sell the training ground, and more importantly, the criteria that Mauricio Pochettino needs to meet to keep his job. Let's get into it.